the gap. A different language for woman and man. Decode the language and you'll understand. Nah, it'll help you out. Rest assured, women have no doubt. Pillow talk, dinner talk, give you the info to walk the walk. Now, sometimes it's a foreign language, now know what's up, don't mistake it. This'll help you every situation, empower yourself, it's liberating, yeah. Communication, don't need no speculation, just get that clarification, then reconciliation. Man translation, yeah, man translation, yeah.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Do I sound like an echo?
I don't hear no echo. I think we're good.
Yeah, maybe that's just me. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Sunday. We are back. We're talking about a really good topic tonight. We always talk about good stuff over here on the Man Translation Show. We talk about cutting edge stuff, things you never heard before, all kinds of relationship advice, situations, experiences, just to make your life a better quality of life. Tonight, we're going to be talking about your emotional intelligence. I'm so tired of people popping off. What you popping off of? Calm down. I am Scott C, the CEO and producer, and this is Dante V, our relationship and communication strategist. What's up, Dante?
What's going on?
Child.
This is definitely a subject we need to talk about because people are not emotionally intelligent as they think they are. I'm not saying that I'm like, emotional guru. I'm not. But some people, y'all claim themselves that y'all not really are. That's bothersome.
I just, for me, I think the situation that happened in Baltimore is the reason kind of like why I wanted to talk about the subject of emotional intelligence. I think we talked about it on the show probably like last year or something. It's not something that is not a really popular subject matter, but it's important. It's so important because it will save your life. It will save your life. So before we get into the content, let's do what we always do. We always define. Anytime you're having a conversation with anyone, you have to set ground rules. And one of the rules is you always have to define because your definition and my definition may not be the same definition.
Different definitions.
Yes, and a lot of times that's where misunderstandings start because you have one definition. Let me give you an example. I was talking to a supervisor, he's a director or whatever. So when you say mandatory and what I mean to be mandatory is two different things about what mandatory is. And so mandatory, we know, is something that you're required to do. But what are the stipulations? What are the conditions? Do I have to be mandatory when you say I'm mandatory? Or do I have to just do it a certain amount of times in my own convenience to get it done? Like, what is the definition? And I think that's where the number one thing for misunderstandings is that we assume that people's definitions of words are the same as ours. If you notice, whenever you look up a definition to any word, it has more
definitions.
Yes, it has a whole laundry list of definitions because things have to remain in their context. So that's the first thing we're going to do. We are going to define what is emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our own emotions and feelings of those around us. It is a vital component of a successful relationship. If you talk to people that's been married for long periods of time, they're going to tell you that the communication is on point. You must, and there are rules to communication, and that's what this show is about, bridging the gap of communication between men and women, because men and women do not think the same because their perspectives are not the same. And so You have to understand how important this really is. It is so important because if you can't manage your emotions, then bad things happen. And I've seen bad things happen all the time. You know, I share with you
Mhm.
guys all the time. Growing up in the projects, your emotional intelligence has to be very high. Has to be high. If somebody can say something to you and get you upset, then you just don't have no power over yourself.
Nope. No self control.
You just gave that person complete power over you because of some words that came out their mouth. I don't think so. Because you'll be popping off all the time. And you're talking about somebody who had a temper. I had a temper. See, me, I'm the type of person that my grandmother, she raised me to not argue with people. Because she always told me if you see two people that argue, they not going to fight. I done
I'm about
seen
that.
people, and see, she
Uh,
taught me when you argue, that's when you get snuck. All
okay,
that
I can definitely see that.
all that talking will get you snuck. Okay. So, your safety. Like I think another thing we do on this show, besides bridge the gap in communication, we also connect dots. Your safety is involved when
Uh-huh.
you have the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions. And that's what it's about. Like little kids can't manage their emotions. When you are an adult, you need to know how to manage yourself. What is going on that we allow people to get us upset because they saying some words?
Live in a sensitive generation. That's all it
You
comes down to.
it's sensitive. No, it's immature. What you think about me is not more important than what I think about me.
Yeah, but
You
then people want to know, well, why do you think this about me, or where did you get this information
who
from? And it's like people
cares?
care, but that's the issue. They care. So it's like if you see me as this, then how do other people see me? Rather than like you said, how do you view you?
Yes. How do you see yourself? I don't even allow some people to. I be like, look, get out of my face with that. And I ain't gonna give you too many warnings. You're not gonna get too many times to get told because I'm one of them people that don't like to repeat themselves. You're not going. I'm not gonna
Hmm.
tell you too many times. You're not gonna get told. You grown. I know you heard me. If I said get out my face, you best to be moving along because I'm a grown woman. I'm not gonna just stand there and just let you holler at me like I'm three. That's not happening.
Nah.
Your best to be going on, moving on along with yourself. Go ahead on. I'm either going to remove myself
Uh-huh.
or I'm going to tell you to remove yourself. But you're not going to stand and holler at me and pound your fists and like, what is this?
Yeah, because who are you trying to intimidate?
Not me. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? Not me, not me, not me. My
If
granddaughter
I
say,
hear
not
that thing, if
not
I
me,
hear that
not
thing
me.
one more time,
So I want us to stop and just take a deep breath, because it's like to me, sometimes people that are addicted to drama, people when they're addicted to drama, they always got to put on a Cecil B. Mill production. Like, who are you
yeah.
trying to impress? Because I'm thoroughly not impressed with the level of immaturity that you're showing me now. You're showing me that you can't hold a civil conversation. You can't hold a
Hmm.
conversation without getting upset.
No. Yeah.
So we have to get our and you can raise your level of emotional intelligence by recognizing. So you have to be able to look at yourself. You got to recognize your own behaviors. And you have to ask yourself, Why is that person's words making me so upset? Why is their words bothering me so much?
Uh-huh.
Nothing that comes out your mouth should not be bothering. No, that like, and I'm not really kind of like talking about like family, because family know how to push your buttons because they know you.
Oh, yes, they
You
do. Uh-huh.
but but even with family, you have to even fall back when it comes to family. When you sit around, I don't know if you saw, but Keisha Cole just did a little show about her life. And of course, she showed a lot of her mom who was addicted to, drugs. And at one point, they tried to get the whole family around together and talk about, because she left them with different people. And I think I believe they all got adopted, but they all got adopted by different people.
Uh-huh.
And it was volatile. Like, it was so volatile. When you got a room full of people that's been holding grudges, angry, resentful, got all this negativity that they've been carrying around, there has to be some ground rules that have to be established when you sit
Yep.
down and try to come to a resolution with your family members that you've been estranged from for whatever reason. And me as a mom, I've come together with my adult children on several occasions to allow them to get things off their chests. And it's not about a shouting match. That's one criteria. It's not about who's
Uh-huh.
right or wrong. That has nothing to do with who's right or wrong. And you have to talk to each other in a respectful manner, or you're not going to get anywhere. And you have to want to get to the truth.
Yes, that's the most important thing, not someone else's, how they feel. It's like, let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Mhm.
And if it needs, I mean, it might get ugly, but it doesn't have to get disrespectful.
Right. And it was nobody there to really mediate with them. Everybody was shouting over each other, and it was very volatile and it was very negative. And so I think that for a mother, when you sit down with your adult children, especially when they feel as though that you've done whatever they feel as though you've done, I find in my experiences that you just can't take it personally. You have to allow them to get off their chest whatever they need to get off their chest. And it's not about who's right or wrong. They're sharing with you their perspective,
Uh-huh.
how they saw the situation, how they felt when they were in the situation. So if me as the mother can't bear to hear, and of course it may be difficult because you may disagree with what it is that they're saying,
Right.
but that's not the time to say to express it. It's about allowing them to share how they felt about whatever it was. I wish my mom was able to share with me when you're a child growing up and your parents is making decisions and those decisions are affecting your life. uh when you get older and you get some more intelligence, and you get some more understanding, you be like, you know what, that wasn't even cool how she did that. That wasn't cool how mama did that, or that wasn't cool how daddy did that. And you just kind of want to know, like, how did you come to the place of making that decision? Because there was some information that you weren't privy to that went into them making that decision, that you were too young to know about.
Uh-huh.
So now that you're older, they can tell you, well, hey, this is what was going on at the time, and this is the reason that I made that decision. And now that I'm older and more experienced, I maybe would have did it that way. Maybe I would have did it a different way. You know what I mean? We're all growing. We all.
Also, let me throw in, when you go to someone to ask them those questions, don't have an answer already in your mind that they
Ooh, that's
match,
good, Dante.
because
Yeah.
because a lot of times that happen. It was like, well, he had to do this, this, this because of A, B, C, D. Like, no, you got to go and let whoever explain what happened in their
Yeah,
own words. You can't go because that's going to do nothing but make you mad. Now you
right,
upset. Now the thing that you've been holding on to, you now have more reason to hold on to it because you feel like this person lied or is lying.
right, right. Exactly. That's a good point, Dante. That's a really good point. That's why it's important for you to, when you have these conversations, to set ground rules,
Hmm.
about how the conversations and stuff is going to go. And I think that another big component is respect. What happened to respect? What happened to respect for
I can
another
give you.
human
I,
being?
I can give you. I can definitely answer that. I've heard it. I've seen it because people feel as though um, you have to earn respect, whether you're a family member or whatever. And because the older generation are elders, they quote unquote disrespected the younger generation. It's like, well, now that we're older, we're not going to stand for it, and they don't.
Well, again, we're going back to what the
Hmm.
definition of respect is. My definition of respect and your definition of respect is two totally different things. I could say something and not think that it's disrespectful to you,
Hmm.
and you can take it as totally disrespectful.
Yep.
So I think that I understand the point of respect being earned, but I also I feel like every person should start off with a clean slate of respect.
Absolutely.
I'm going to
It's like
automatic.
it's like that teacher that we all had. We all had this one teacher at some point in time. You go in their class and they're like, all right, everybody has an A. It's up to
Right.
you whether you keep it or not. Same thing with respect.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got it, but I ain't gonna be too many. These names you keep calling. That's gonna go out the window
But
real
the
quick.
thing is that too, like respect. People always say respect is earned, but the thing is that to me, you're going to give somebody only what you have to give. If I
Now,
carry myself with respect, then I'm going to automatically give you respect until you do something. And I'm still not going to really disrespect you. I'm going
I'm
to
not gonna bear
first
with you.
inform you. I'm going to first inform you and say, that was disrespectful. Because why? You have to do what? Recognize.
Hmm.
The first thing in emotional intelligence is to recognize. So I'm going to point out that what you just said or that what you just did was disrespectful. So I'm setting my boundary and I am letting you know that behavior will not be tolerated. So I think that people who walk around saying, "Oh, you got to earn respect," are the most disrespectful people.
I can see that.
Yeah, they the most disrespectful people. That's why they saying, "Oh, you got to earn it," because they the most disrespectful ones. Because they think that they can talk to you and say
There's
whatever
a
they
new
want to
firmware
say to
update.
you,
Hmm.
and you're
This
and
is the
you're supposed to
Sony
just
Z.
I
you're
don't know.
supposed to
That's
just take it. That's you. That you.
yeah. That was mine. That was my
Yeah,
son.
so it's just like, no, you know, right. Everybody starts out with respect until you do something that you don't.
Disrespectful.
And I'm still not going to just, even if you are disrespectful, I'm still not going to just disrespect you because you was disrespectful. I'm going to draw the line and say, hey, this is the boundary. Don't cross it.
Right.
Point blank and period. Like I said, people that say you got to earn it, children, I have never, I don't know. That's just this is my take, and everybody is, perfectly free to disagree. But I just answered a post where this
Hmm.
girl was online calling her mother all kind of bees. I think she said the word B no less than 20 times in reference to her mother. And I said to her that, we hear everything that you said that your mother did. We hear everything that you said she did. But the fact that you stooped to the level of disrespecting your mother and calling her bees and this be this and that be that, like, what does that say about you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what does that, and that's the thing, we still on the recognized part. So it's like, it's a bunch of stuff that I totally disagree with, that my mom did, the decision she made, the way she lived her life, but not one time did I ever disrespect her. Not
Right.
one. Not one time did I ever raise my voice at her. Not one time. Not one. So it's like this thing of earning, I think that some things is just built in. It's built into
Right.
the character of the person. That no matter what you do, you're not going to get me to disrespect you, even if you deserve it. I could not imagine coming on social media, calling my mom all kind of bees. No way. Especially if I know she has some type of mental issue.
Mm-hmm.
Has a mental issue. You have identified what that mental issue is. You are knowledgeable about that mental issue, but you totally overlook it and say, oh, well, this be this and this be that and this be and that be. No way. There's just no way. And I mean, I see people argue with their parents. No, there is no way. There's no way I'm going to argue with my dad. I'm not going to argue with my stepdad. I'm not going to argue with anybody who God has placed in authority over my life, even if they did something to deserve it. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the recognizing, it's the recognizing. And I just do not understand the generation that feels as though you need to get a point across when talking to, what? No way. There's no way.
I think they.
I
Okay.
just-
No, because a lot of times they don't have a point. They just want to be heard. Because like most of the stuff they're saying doesn't make any sense. It's probably just for self validation, and you just talking because you want to be heard because no one else is listening to you. Because again, you don't make any sense. I've gotten to a lot of back and forth and walked away from a lot of conversations because of that very same reason. It's like you want to play the victim. You
right,
want somebody to hear you
right,
because you want somebody to be on your side,
right.
and that might work with other people, but as far as over here with me, it doesn't work. So take that, and you can, do that on someone else who actually it may work on. And I don't mind losing the friendship or whatever it is that was had because at the end of the day, it's pointless.
And that's the thing, is that they don't know how to. That's what this whole show is about. It's about, you don't know how to excuse me, manage your emotions. You can't have a conversation with an angry person. You can't, because their anger is going to skew whatever it is that you're talking about. So when you're angry, when you try to talk to an angry person, they're not going to hear you. If you
Hmm.
try to talk to a person that's resentful, they're not going to hear you. If you try to talk to someone that has bitterness, they're not going to hear you, because they're
Nope.
carrying around all of this hurt that you apparently did to them, that you don't even know you did.
Nope.
Like, I have no idea. We always say on this show, it all starts with a conversation. And so I want to pull up a clip of this news, it's been circulating in the news. And I really want to impress upon our audience the importance of emotional intelligence, because you can die, and people are dying and probably will continue to die because they're not having these conversations. People are not being taught how to manage their emotions.
Nope.
So I'm sure you saw this clip too, Dante.
Mm-hmm.
Nay. Get your food. Get your food. If you say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Oh my God, I say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Oh, say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out.
Oh,
The man later died from his injuries. A state of
so prime example. He's
Yeah,
all
crazy part is
upset.
I think the girlfriend was hyping him up to do it. Then he did it. Now he ain't here.
Gone. And that's because why? Because you don't know how to manage your emotions. You have no self-control over yourself. Like, and for what? What was so important that you had to? And not only that, when did young people start hitting on their elders? When that start happening?
Because I ain't got no respect. None.
Well, the respect that you claim is earned starts with you. You want the respect from the other person. That's not how it works. That's backwards. The respect starts with you, not the other person. If he would have carried himself in a respectful manner because he is respectful to himself, that whole situation would have been different. And
Way
that's
different.
what I say when I say your emotional intelligence. I had to learn emotional intelligence growing up in the hood, because if you walked around scared, you would
They
get
ain't gonna
bullied
get
every
you.
day.
They're gonna get you.
They're gonna get you. You had to be able to carry yourself in a certain way.
Mm-hmm. Let people
Because
know you are not to be played with.
even if you ever saw interviews where they interview like rapists, mainly rapists, and they talk about how do you pick your victims. They pick
They
their
want the
victims
easy ones.
because of the way you carry yourself. Respect starts with you. When you respect yourself, you carry yourself a certain way. I don't need to earn respect with myself. I already have respect with myself. Those people that holler respect is earned, it's because they have no self-respect. They're the main ones that be disrespecting people. They're the main ones that need to be punched in their mouth. They're the main ones. Mr. or Mrs. Earn your respect. I already have respect. I don't need to earn nothing with nobody. Because for real, what it really boils down to is you don't have no control over yourself. Why are you all in public telling people, first of all, I'm grown. You don't get to tell me what to do. Okay. So what are you talking about? Get your food. Boy, if you don't go over there and sit down somewhere and hush, you know what I'm saying? We don't even come from the generation where you disrespect elders. Well, your elders have to give you respect. And I understand it is some ratchet elders. I get it. I see them all the time. I see them too. It's some ratchet elders. They will cuss you out. Miss Ma'am Lady, Mr. Man, Mister. I'm gonna need you to go on over there somewhere now. Now go ahead now. Go on with yourself. Yes, there are some very ratchetness people. Yes, yes. But again, like you said, people want to play the victim. But you can't be the cause and be the victim. Life works on cause and effect. It's cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and effect. Can't be the victim and and just totally overlook the cause. Somebody did something to you, said something to you. What was going on? Well, why did they say that? What happened? Like, what? What? Like, I never acknowledge dudes who be like, oh yeah, when she did this and she did that. I'd be like, but what did you do? You ain't do
There's always two sides to every story.
You see what I'm saying? And people that play the victim, they normally did something.
And I hate people who play the victim. It's so annoying. Like, we're all adults. Like, when you go to court, you have to explain your side.
Right.
They get a chance to explain their side. But, when you play victim, you just explain everybody's side. But somehow, everything falls against you. Everybody doing stuff against you. What did you do?
But
what really happened?
How you explain to everybody's side, but you ain't talk to nobody?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You ain't talk to a soul. You ain't talk to not one person. You ain't talk to nobody, but you explain to everybody's side. We go back to the psychosis. You all in your mind, all in your brain, all these voices talking to you. There's too many conversations going on. That young man, all of that could have been avoided. Now he lost his life for what?
All because she didn't get her food because he ordered her to.
So developing your emotional intelligence will help you understand and manage your own emotions and recognize and respond to the emotions of others. Respond. That word respond comes from the word responsibility. Your ability to respond, not react. Respond. There's a difference. There's a difference. You don't, if I have respect for myself, no matter what you say, you can say whatever you want to say. My mother would cuss me out in front of my friends for hours. There's something about when people have mental issues, they love to try to humiliate you and embarrass you. And my friends would be like, how do you do it? She would cuss me out for hours in front of the whole neighborhood one day. Well, yeah, this one day in particular stands out because she just was going on. I mean, just cussing me out, telling all what she thought she knew was my business. And for like almost 2 hours in front of the whole neighborhood. Everybody, it was summertime. We were sitting outside. Everybody came out like, what's going on? I didn't open my mouth the entire time. I never opened my mouth. I never said not one word the whole entire time. And I think eventually she just got embarrassed and she went back in the house. She slammed the door. She went in the house and slammed the door. My friend was like, oh my God, how did you just sit there and just not say anything? Because I have respect for myself and I have respect for her. I have respect for her. Have respect for her as my mother. Do I agree with what she did? No. Do I like what she did? No. But I have respect for myself and I have respect for her. Who knows what would have happened if I would have stood up and went toe to toe with her and start arguing with her? What would it have solved? Nothing.
No.
It wouldn't have solved anything. I didn't even go so far as to walk away from her. Because normally I walk away from you. She just went on and on. And my girlfriend's friend that was with her was about to get ready to say something. And I told her, no. If I'm not going to disrespect my mother, I'm definitely not going to let you disrespect her. Whatever it is you got to say, you can take that thought right on home with you. Because don't nobody over here want to hear it. If I'm not going to disrespect my mother, I'm definitely not going to let you disrespect her. And so you have to learn how, no matter how somebody is acting, how ugly they're acting, no matter what it is that they're doing, then it doesn't absolve you to stoop to their level, because that's basically what you're doing. Oh, well, she supposed to give me respect. She ain't giving me no respect. Well, I'm going to disrespect her because you ain't got no respect anyway. You ain't got no respect for yourself anyway. You got to have respect and earn respect with yourself. I'm not going to ever stoop down to nobody's level. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. And I mean, that wasn't the first incident. It was just the one that stuck out.
Right.
And I think that it also became another reason why people brought their problems to me, because they saw how I handled my own. If you can sit there and let somebody cuss you out for 2 hours and not say one word, yeah, that's the person I need to bring my problems to. At the time, I didn't say it that way. But yeah, you have to know how to respond. If I would have reacted, I could have easily reacted and tried to go toe to toe with her and tell her how I felt in that moment. But that's not to me, that wasn't the appropriate way to respond. And that's what the problem is. That young man is reacting instead of taking responsibility. Your ability to respond to the emotions of others will help you to understand how to manage your own emotion and recognize and respond to the emotions of others.
Man, listen, sometimes other people's emotions aren't your issue.
They're not. They ain't never your issue.
Like,
But
when it comes to go ahead.
We're talking about parents, though.
Oh, I mean, no. When it comes down to some, I'm gonna say some because there's always an exception to the rule. But the majority of people out here, their emotions are their emotions. That has nothing to do with you. If you want to get in their feelings, then let them get in their feelings. It has nothing to do with you.
Nothing.
You decided to go in here. Okay. Now, if I get in my feelings, now, and we both in the feelings, yeah, it's gonna be an issue. It's gonna be a problem.
Be a problem.
But no, it's almost like when people say, "Oh, I have triggers." Deal with them. That's not my issue.
Not my issue.
It's not. That's all you. Those are your triggers. My triggers, you're not going to know because I'm going to deal with them. If something is bothering me, it's bothering me. Okay, I need to figure out why this is an issue. Why this is happening? What's going on? Now, if it comes to a point like if we're in a relationship or I have to deal with you close quarters, I might bring it up. But other than that, no. If you continue doing what you're doing, I can't force you to stop anything. If you continue to keep doing what you're doing, okay, great. I don't have to deal. I don't have to be around.
I think for me, it's like when people act that way, it's like watching a movie. You be looking at them like, scene, look.
Some of them, yes.
Cut, scene. Cause you kicking up all this dust and drama. Are you auditioning for some type of role or something? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yes, they are auditioning so you can be on their side, so you can level with them and see where they're coming from, even though you don't. You put on a good act. Yes, you deserve a Grammy.
Your lack of communication. If you can't communicate without getting upset, like you can't express yourself without getting upset, really? You're immature. You're immature.
Emotionally immature.
Emotionally immature. That's how children act. Children act that way. Children get upset. Oh, mommy, he He called me a bum. Well, if you're not a bum, then you don't need to respond to that. Anybody named you bum? Like what? And as you grow older, the older you get, the better you should become at controlling your emotions.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and let me tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. When your emotional intelligence is high and the other person is not, oh my God, it infuriates them even more. I think that's why on and on. She was throwing everything she could at me, and none of it, I wasn't moved by. Not one word came out her mouth, not one.
Yeah, because they're going to keep digging until they get a response.
Exactly, till they get a response, because
and then when it's like they're not,
they feed off of your, they feed off of it. That's what they feed off of. Yeah, they trying to push your buttons or push your triggers until you respond or you react. And then they eat off of that. Yum, 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 yum. See. And it's like, especially if you're dealing with a narc. Oh, they love when they can push your buttons and you get upset. They feed off of that emotion. It's like, gotcha. Yeah. But
everybody got time for that.
Every time is a chance for you to get stronger and get better and better. And I think for me, because I'm an observer of life and I'm an observer of people. And I think for me, it just caused me to just, I don't know. I think growing up and I would see adults act like that. To me, you just look like a fool. You just look like a fool. You can't communicate without raising your voice and doing all these theatrics. And you want everybody to hear you and listen, and you want to earn respect, and you just sound like a fool. Who responds to a fool? The word says that anger rests in the bosom of a fool. You a fool. I'm not responding to that because you are a fool, and you have no respect for yourself. Go earn some respect for you. Them be the main people that be disrespectful. The ones that talk like respect is main ones. Emotional intelligence can help you inspire others. It inspired them. My friends that was looking, they was like, girl, yeah, we want to know how you did. How you did that? It inspires others. You manage stress, and it helps you to cope with difficult situations. It makes you more resilient and better able to handle challenges and make decisions. I can attest to that. You are able to most of the time, the people that talk about you need to earn respect and got to holler and scream and everything, they stressed out to the maximum, all triggered out. Everything bothers them. Everything, you can't say nothing. Everything bothers them. Everybody around them walking on eggshells because you'll never know what's going to trigger them. I call it a landmine. Your soul is a landmine. You'll never know where you can walk, where they're going to be triggered.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. That's too much.
They're not dealing with their stuff. They're not aware. In order for you to improve your emotional intelligence and manage your emotions, you have to be self-aware. If you know that this triggered you, write that down and say, why did that bother me? I've done that plenty of times. I'm like, you know what? Why did that get on my whole entire nerve? I only got one nerve left, and it was just sitting on me. And then when you find out, you be like, oh, okay, it wasn't even, because let me tell you, it's never about the other person. It's always about you. It's always about you. It is never about the other person. It's always about you. So, like, Go somewhere and earn and sit down. It definitely helps you to cope with difficult situations. And it does make you more resilient because you become very aware of yourself in the situation. And I just remember thinking, and not just my mom, but people that have these problems. People that drink a lot and do drugs and all of that, these are coping mechanisms for them. The reason they do that stuff is because they can't handle it. So they be the main ones popping off because they don't have no emotional intelligence. They have none. They don't manage their emotions at all. They say whatever the first thing come to their mind. They don't have no filter. You know what I mean? They ready to fight for the smallest little thing that
all the time.
I'm trying to tell you. And when you are a child and you're growing up and these are the adults that you see, you're like, yeah, something is wrong here. Like, I think I'm gonna have to be a little bit better than this here. Cause this ain't how you
ultimately that's the goal. Cause I mean, for real, once you identify it, you don't want to keep walking around with it every day. Like you literally wake up and choose burdens. Allow me to burden myself with holding on to this thing that can be solved with a conversation. Not all conversations are going to go your way, but you know what? Give it a try. Give the other person a chance.
One of the things I learned too is that anger makes people feel powerful. When you're dealing with people, when you're dealing with a person who feels helpless, and when you're dealing with a person who feels hopeless, anger makes them feel powerful. See, when you hold on to anger against someone and bitterness and resentment and all this stuff, and you disrespectful and all of that, that makes you feel like you really got something over that person. You're not understanding is the only person that's being eaten up alive is you.
And this leaves them getting in the back and forth with me, thinking you have a point and you don't. And then when you get ripped to shreds, respectfully, now I'm the victim, I'm the villain. That's fine. I am willing to be the villain in anyone's story. Yep. Just leave me alone. Please leave me alone.
Yeah, because you know every story needs a villain.
I'll be that. I will all day. I will be the villain. I will be the bad guy in everybody's story. That's fine because most people are not going to go out and seek the other person's point of view. No. Both of y'all leave me the hell alone.
Yeah.
Whatever they said I did it. Yes. Well, leave me alone.
The sad part about those type of people is that they're not really seeking for the truth. They're not seeking for the truth. They're seeking for validation.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Take you and your parking ticket and get away from me. Leave me alone.
Yeah. It's really a miserable,
it ain't gonna work over here.
Very miserable way to live. And unfortunately, Dante, this next clip right here, this is what lack of emotional intelligence happened in your neighborhood.
Southern part of the city. This happened just after 12:30 this morning on Gretna Court. Police say a total of 30 people were shot. 2 are dead, 28 others hurt. 3 of those people are in critical condition. The 2 deceased are an 18-year-old woman and a 20-year-old man. We will continue to follow this breaking story and provide updates.
Again,
party in peace.
Again, your emotional intelligence, it could get you killed if you don't have it. Because you're in a pressure cooker. Especially if you're in these inner cities, this is Baltimore, you're in these inner cities, and it's always somebody popping off all the time because you're dealing with a bunch of people that's under stress. They're under stress, they're under de-stress, and like any little thing will make them just pop off, and they have no coping skills. Building up and improving your emotional intelligence is a coping skill. Your ability to respond to other people is a sign of maturity. I don't have to say something every time you have something to say, because you can say whatever you got to say over across on the other side of that room, right? Go ahead over there. Like, go over there.
I think that is what I am learning. I am learning that everything doesn't. I'm not. Trust me. This is a work in progress. But learning that everything doesn't need a response. I think the thing that bothers me is, one, people think they have a point. Sometimes they do. Most of the time they don't. And a lot of times they're dead wrong based off of the information that's given.
That they have, yeah.
And it's like, do I want to correct the mind of someone whose mind is already made up? Or do I just go about my business?
Yeah.
And I literally start out saying, you know what, I'm going to correct. And then midway through, it's like, you know what, this conversation is pointless. Nope. It's not fruitful. And however you got your information, keep getting it that way. Delete response, I say, okay, and then I go about my business.
And this is the thing. One of the things that having a high emotional intelligence does, as we said before, it helps you to handle challenges and make decisions. People that do not get to the truth do not know how to make good decisions. So I'm not going to waste my time trying to correct you, because the word says what? When you try to correct a fool, what happens? They get angry because they don't want the truth. Some people do not want the truth. They don't want the truth. They want to be in their own closest. They want to be in their own mind. They want to be right in their own eyes. But those ones that are right in their own eyes leads where? To their own destruction. So if you really, upon further examination, look at their life, you're going to see that their life is tore up. It's tore up.
Nope.
Because they don't want
I know. I mean, we're going to protect the innocent, of course, but I know a few people like that. It's like, all right, we'll just go your way. I done got called all sorts of names, and you know what? I'll be all of that. Take you, your opinions, your thoughts, and more importantly, yourself.
And they swear up and down and around the corner that they right. Ain't never had a conversation with the other person.
Nope.
Ain't never even tried to talk to the other person.
Nope.
Anger,
none whatsoever.
Rest in the bosom of a fool. They fools. I'm telling
Let it
you.
rest away from me.
They are fools, Dante. I grew up watching these people year after year after year after year. They don't accomplish anything in their lives. They are horrible decision makers. They have no coping skills. They're full of stress. They don't have any peace, but yet they think they're right about everything. Okay, cool. Be right. Say whatever you want to say. Like I said, your words don't have no power in my life because they sure don't have no power in yours. So I'm not going to waste my time trying to correct anything. Say whatever it is you need to say, because them words going to boomerang right slam back to you. Whatever it is you got to say about me behind my back is none of my business. I
People
don't
get
care.
that.
And I learned that at a very early age. Say what you want to say. Get around your witch's coven and get the whole family together and talk. Because y'all ain't nothing but a bunch of losers. And you know it. That's the whole thing. It ain't like they don't know they losers. And so with that, with this understanding, you will gain insight into your motivations, your. This is about understanding you. This is not about the other person, you. And that's the whole problem is. Everybody always looking at somebody else. Look at yourself. Look at the man in the mirror. Gain insight into your motivations, your thoughts, your behaviors, so that you can communicate more effectively and simply thrive. Because communication, I don't care what job you apply for, they're going to ask you either do you have written communication or oral communication. You need oral communication skills and written communication skills. These people do not thrive on their jobs. They do not thrive in their marriages. They do not thrive in any of the relationships that they have. None. None of them. None. I keep telling you, when your family is ground zero. If you cannot deal with the relationships in your family, don't no other relationship stand a chance. That's your boot camp. That's where you learn these skills at, in your family, at home. And if you got 10 siblings, then you should be the best communicator, the best negotiator. You should be the best. Like, your skill level should be, you should be a guru. Because you've had a lot of practice. But people don't get that. They think that, oh, your family's supposed to be perfect. Everybody's supposed to get along. In what lifetime is this? These are the people that you learn from. But you want to hold grudges. I wish I would hold a grudge against my mother. You got to be kidding me. Or my father.
You gotta wake up every day and choose that grudge. I'm good. Whatever. You
got to wake up every day and carry that grudge. What is it about the grudges, the anger, and the bitterness? You drinking the poison, hoping that the other person die, when you're the one that's dying on the inside. And that's all I got to say. Close this out, Dante.
I can't tell people how to live their life, but I can give you a little blueprint on how to make it a tad bit better. First things first, let stuff go. If it serves no purpose, let it go. You holding on to a grudge, anger, disappointment, resentment is not going to do anything for you. If you learn from it, that is a different story. Of course, you take what you've been through, you turn it into a lesson. Okay, not going to do this again. I put my hand in the fire. I got burned. We're not going to do that no more. But for you to keep doing the same thing over and over again and hoping that someone will save you from the same thing, like, it's pointless. If you want to be a willing captive in your own life, then be that. Just don't attract anyone else to do so. When it comes down to this thing that we call respect, I don't believe with it has to be earned. I mean, yes, it is given. And if the moment you do something to question that, then okay, then you take your respect back. Oh, okay, that's fine. But making somebody jump through hoops for what? Now, again, all things start with a conversation. Don't assume the conversation is going to go a certain way because you think you know how this person is or how they're going to act. Give them the respect. Give them the respect of their choice. Hey, I tried to have this conversation. It didn't work out because A, B, C, D. But at least at that point, you tried. You came to them. You did what you were supposed to do. Not, well, if I go and talk to him and he gonna be mad and he just gonna lie anyway. Okay, fine. Let him lie. That sounds
like a projection.
Definitely projection. That happens more often than not. We will go ahead on and project the conversation that has never even happened.
Exactly.
And this is the basis. This is the basis of what it is. Well, he's just gonna do this. He's just gonna do that. No, give that person the opportunity to either to say what they're gonna say, whether they're gonna lie, they're gonna con their way out, whatever the case may be.
They don't want to get to the truth. They just see. That a lot of times people don't want to have the conversation. It starts with the conversation. They don't want to have the conversation because they already know they're lying.
That's it.
Yeah, they already know they're lying. So this is the show. Put something on your mind. Give you something to think about. Raise your emotional intelligence. Your life depends on it. We will see you guys next Sunday.